The 2022 Rogue Invitational is approaching fast, and we are bringing you a Meet the Athletes mini-series leading up to the show. In this mini-series, we're going to look at the athletes' recent competition history, take a look at the 6 events, and let you know how we think they can do on each of those.
Martins returned to competing after a 1.5-year break at this competition last year, the Rogue Invitational 2021, and there he took first place ahead of the current world's strongest man, Tom Strongman, and the previous year's winner, Alexei Novikov. In March this year, he competed at and won his first Arnold Strongman Classic title. And at World's Strongest Man this year, he placed second behind Tom Strongman. Martins has competed in a total of 22 international competitions so far, winning 8 of them. And the last time we saw him off a podium was in 2018 at the World's Ultimate Strongman in Dubai. Event number 1 then, Lozzie, the 20-inch deadlift for reps, somewhere between 900 and 1,000 pounds.
So Martins is a very solid deadlifter. He might not be seen as one of the guys that chases world records. You know, he's not like the Eddie Halls, the Thors that we kind of talk about, or even maybe the Raunos, Nekonieczny's, those kind of guys that regularly try and compete and break records. But when you look at his deadlift history, he always scores big points. The one question mark is from a more elevated deadlift.
Yes.
Not that he's bad, but he seems to prefer deadlifting from a lower position. Doesn't quite have that lockout strength of maybe a Rauno who likes pulling from a higher height, or an Alexei Novikov who's exceptionally good from those higher pulls. But always solid, and you know he prepares well. He's just one of those athletes, it doesn't matter what event you throw at him, he's going to turn up in shape.
Yeah. One issue potentially for Martins, he has been complaining of an issue with his hip recently, which potentially could hold him back on the deadlift.
It has, but if you look at his recent training, he's done some very impressive lifting, and as I said earlier, he's one of those athletes that will get the best out of him on the day. So he just does enough to squeeze in and get those good points where he needs to, and then he hits it hard on the events he knows he can really kind of challenge for the big points. An amazing athlete, and someone that it doesn't matter what events we throw in there, you're going to be talking about him.
Next is the Husafel sandbag carry for distance. Now, we've seen Martins in the 2019 Arnold Strongman Classic do a Husafel replica for distance, and he placed 4th in that competition. So that was behind Thor, who, to be fair, was almost untouchable, Alexei Novikov, and interestingly, Rauno.
Yeah, that is interesting that Rauno's in there. It shows how great an athlete he is. But again, this is another event, might not win, but he trains it hard. You know, he trains all the events hard if he knows he's got them coming up in a competition. And he'll probably be in a solid position after the deadlift. He'll be looking for good points. Again, I don't expect him to win this event. I don't expect him to win the deadlift. But I think he'll be looking for that 4th, 3rd place type of position where he can accumulate more points. He seems to be, when you kind of look at his last 3 or 4 performances, he's solid, then he sort of gets better and better as the competition goes on. He's got great endurance as an athlete. And yeah, I think, again, not a win for him on this event, but certainly solid points.
Next is a very interesting event that I think can really throw a spanner in the works this year. So it's the sandbag load, 3 bags into the arm over arm pull. Now, looking at Martins' track record, he's excellent at loading races. Arm over arm, he's done very well. He came first in the Arnold Europe in 2018 in this event, but he has also placed 4th in his group at an arm over arm at World's Strongest Man. So quite varying.
And it's interesting you say that, because arm over arm really is one of those events that can vary greatly. There are a couple of exceptions. There's a few guys that just tended to always be good no matter what. But an arm over arm really does depend on the implement. And, you know, some of them are quite light and you can kind of blitz through them. This one looks like it's going to be absolutely epic. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think, just being the smart athlete that he is, he will again do well. He's got a very solid grip, he's got good endurance in his forearms, solid back, solid leg strength, all the attributes to be good at an event like this. Yeah. And again, I'd expect him to get good points.
So next up we have the Sear dumbbell, slightly different to last year's medley, because instead of 5 dumbbells, they have 4, and if they get to the 4th one, then they have to rep it out at the end. Now, Martins placed 2nd on this event last year, but he actually only got 3 implements. Alexi was the only one to do all 5.
Yeah, you say he only got 3, but it was still enough for second place.
Heavy 3 as
And
well.
he's one of 4 athletes this year that has experience on these dumbbells. I think, again, he's going to get good points. I think the dumbbell is all about Alexi Novikov.
I agree.
But once again, I mean, if Martins is going to be 2nd or 3rd on this, which looking at the track record, you'd say
Could well be.
Could well be.
Yeah.
He'll be very pleased with those points. Again, I think it's just one of those events, as many points as he can get. Keep building, keep putting that pressure that if anyone does make a mistake, he's always there or thereabouts.
Next up, one of my favourite events from last year, the yoke into log. Now, again, Martins placed 2nd on this event last year behind Mateusz Kieliszkowski, who was not here this year, and he was 3 seconds slower than him. However, Mateusz is being replaced by a few very quick athletes, the likes of Mitch Hooper, for example.
Yeah, Mitch exceptionally fast on the yoke. But again, I mean, we say this for every single event with Martins. He was 2nd last year, you said, and he's solid on both of these. If he can get 2nd again, he's going to be happy. It was an event that I really enjoyed last year, and it's very interesting to think that it's a £1,000 yoke, so it's not the heaviest yoke these guys have ever done, but it does take it out of your legs, especially if you're under that yoke for a long time. So ideally, the quicker you can get through that yoke implement, it gives you more time to maybe take a few breaths, recover, and get straight into the log. If you are under that yoke for a long period of time, your legs are going to be draining, your whole core starts to drain. And we saw it last year where guys that were good at log lifting actually struggled by the time they got to the log. So interesting medley. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you guys will enjoy watching it. And it does throw kind of a spanner in the works in terms of who's good at yoke, who's good at log lift. It's combining the two the best that they can. The athletes that did it last year have obviously got experience, so they'll have gone away and put the training in to try and prepare maybe a little bit better for it this year. And you know that Martins is a smart athlete when it comes to his training. So again, I'd expect big points.
And finally, we end again on the stone over hitching post. The only event Martins won last year, they are replica Inver stones. He is very good with natural stones as Martins. I can see it kind of all going the same way again in some respects, that being maybe the only event that he wins. I feel that there's more interesting opposition for him on the stones this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing Maxime Boudreau do them, and also Pavlo Nekonechny. We've not seen him on a natural stone. No,
and there's Trey Mitchell as well.
Of course, Trey,
who's a great stone lifter. But Martins has proved when it comes to the awkward type natural stones, he's been very, very solid. So again, this is probably, like you say, the event he has the best chance of winning, but he's got a good chance of being top 3, top 4 on almost every event. If he can do that, it's going to make him hard to beat. But by no means do I think he's the heavy favourite this year.
No, I don't.
There's great opposition, and there's some athletes that have exceptionally good events. So Martins is going to need that consistency. He's going to need that perfect run. And if he puts it all together, he's without question a big contender to retain the title.
So I feel like this year it's harder to predict than last year. I just see it going so many ways and so many different variations. There's only a few things that would surprise me. One of them would be if Martins wasn't in the top 2 or 3.
Yes, if Martins isn't top 3, then I would be very, very shocked.
Yeah, me too.
He's just so solid. You know, the other guys are capable of exceptional things.
Yes.
But they're capable of mistakes as well.
Yes.
He is a more solid performer where you just know he will get the best out of himself, barring worst case scenario, some kind of injury or something.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. We're starting with Martins Licis, last year's winner. Can he defend the title? The Rogue Invitational, the Rogue team themselves, investing a lot into Strongman, really trying to help it grow. Huge prize money for the athletes. If you're going to be in Texas for the event, you will have an absolute blast. It's a real festival experience at the Rogue Invitational. We are looking forward to it. As always, let us know your thoughts on the video. Let us know your thoughts on Martins. Do you think he can defend the title and become the Rogue Invitational champion for the 2nd year in a row?